Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena gameplay. Some of you may be wondering why we're not running M19 cards. Well, unfortunately, as late in the week as M19 is releasing, there is no way that I can actually get the recording and editing and everything done and have a video up in time using those cards. So, we're going to be revisiting a deck that we've run in the past with updates from Kaladesh block, which was unavailable last time, and we'll dive into M19 cards next week. So, as you can see from the graphic on your screen, we are running God Pharaoh's Gift again. God Pharaoh's Gift decks look to fill the graveyard with creatures and get the namesake card into play as quickly as possible to reanimate those creatures as 4/4s with haste. There are several iterations of this deck, with blue-white being the current most popular configuration. There are also blue-black and blue-green versions. The red-blue versions, like what we're running today, were very popular a couple of months ago, but have recently fallen out of favor. However, it is still my favorite version of the deck personally, due to its combo kill potential. But we'll get into all of that in greater detail as we look at the list more closely. First up, we have the namesake of the deck, God Pharaoh's Gift, a 7-mana artifact that says at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. It gains haste until end of turn. So once we get this into play, we can return creatures to play at the beginning of each of our combat steps. The problem that we face is the 7-mana casting cost. How do we get it into play before turn 7? Well, in this version, we use Gate to the Afterlife, a 3-cost artifact that says whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you gain 1 life. Then you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. You can pay 2, tap, and sacrifice Gate to the Afterlife. Search your graveyard, hand, and or library for a card named God Pharaoh's Gift and put it onto the battlefield. However, we can activate this ability only if there are 6 or more creatures in our graveyard. So, as long as we do have 6 creatures in the graveyard, we can search the gift out from anywhere short of exile and put it directly into play. The gate also helps us achieve the 6 creatures in the graveyard by giving us a loot every time one of our non-token creatures die, and helps keep us alive via life gain. Gate to the Afterlife is maybe the most important card in the deck. And since Gate to the Afterlife is so important, we're also running a pair of Trophy Mage to help us search them up. Then the last of our non-creature cards is a playset of Cathartic Reunion, helping us to fill our graveyard while drawing us deeper into our deck, generally in search of Gate to the Afterlife or one of our combo creatures. So now that we know the game plan of filling the graveyard and getting a gift into play, what is the payoff? Well, the best payoff in this version, and the reason I personally prefer it to the other iterations, is Combat Celebrant and his buddy Vizier of Many Faces. We can reanimate the Celebrant and exert it, giving us another combat step, and each combat step we gain gets us another God Pharaoh's Gift trigger, and we can just chain those together to often attack for lethal the turn that we get gift into play. Vizier plays the role of Combat Celebrants number 5 and 6, and can also provide added utility by copying other creatures in a pinch. The rest of the creatures in the deck serve to get us to the point of executing the plan, though sometimes you can just go aggro enough to win without ever getting a gift into play. To dig through our deck and fill our graveyards, we have Champion of Wits, also great when brought back from the graveyard to draw even more cards. Minister of Inquiry serves as an early blocker that can take on 1/1s and live, and can also spend energy to mill ourselves for 3 cards a pop. Skirk Prospector and Fanatical Firebrand team up as creatures that can sacrifice themselves for other effects, ramping our mana, dealing damage, and triggering Gate to the Afterlife on their own. And finally, Walking Ballista is another card that can put itself in the bin while helping us with board control, or often we'll just cast it for 0 and let it die with a Gate to the Afterlife out just for the trigger. The mana base is for each of Ether Hub, Sulphur Falls, and Spire Bluff Canal. Unfortunately, I only have 3 canals at the moment, so I'll be running a Highland Lake in that slot. Not optimal, but we work with what we have. For Ipnu Rivulet, provide us with blue mana and give us yet another way to put cards into the graveyard. And we round out the main deck with 6 mountains. In the sideboard, we have a set of Negate for control matchups, a pair of Sweltering Suns for go-wide strategies like Merfolk and Vampires, 2 Essence Scatter if we really need to counter creatures, 2 Abrade if we really need to kill creatures or artifacts, and 3 Shielded Ether Thief as an efficient surprise blocker that can gain us extra energy and sometimes draw us a card. Also, not dying to 3 mana burn spells is quite nice. And rounding out the sideboard for additional utility versus control and mid-range are a pair of Saheeli Rai. Unfortunately, the list that I submitted to this league today didn't manage to save those in the board, so we are going to be playing with a 13-card sideboard. So, no Saheeli Rai for us, unfortunately. Nevertheless, that is the deck list. Now on to the gameplay. Okay. Well, I don't think we want to keep a 1-land hand, so let's mulligan it. That is also a 1-land hand. And it's an Ether Hub, which is really bad, so we're going to go to 5. Yeah, I mean, for a 5-land hand, that's fine, I guess. We'll keep it. Mountain on top, sure. Guess that'll let our future Sulphur Falls come into play untapped. We'll play out the first one for now so that we can get Minister down next turn. We are at a supreme disadvantage here, and we're losing our gate to the afterlife. Probably mono black control. That's the deck that I most often see playing main deck duress. Well, even though this will give them full knowledge, I think we need to get that mountain out, so let's go ahead and cast our Minister. Now, we don't generally want to mill with the Minister until we have a gate to the afterlife in hand, because we don't want to mill our other gates to the afterlife. Let's go ahead and go attacking, and then we'll play out this Combat Celebrant. Maybe we can just go aggro this game. Don't have much hope for that, though. These mono black decks run a ton of removal. That's fine. The kill part of it, exiling stuff from our graveyard, is less than fine. Well, I think we're going to lose this. Had to mulligan way low, and now we're just kind of flooding out here, unfortunately. I do expect them to use Return. Oh no, Torment of Scarabs. Okay. I guess I'll discard that Ether Hub. Champion of Wits is fine. Sadly, everything we get from it's going to go into the graveyard, but at this point, I think our path to victory is just out aggroing the opponent. Again, probably not going to happen. Well, milling off 2 lands is fine. At least we won't have to draw those mountains now. The good thing is, if we ever manage to get a gate to the afterlife in play, mono black can't really deal with it. And of course, we can't really deal with those Torment of Scarabs. Yeah, let's lose 6 life here. Their clock is faster than our clock. Well, go for another champion, I suppose. And we're going to decline this time, just in case we can manage to draw a gate to the afterlife. We are tied, but they're hitting us for 6. We can only hit them for 5. Chainer's Torment. Yep. So I do believe that our mulligan has killed us here, plus the duress from the opponent. New Rivulet. So we will have to sack stuff next turn if we want to stay alive. Let's play out our Rivulet so that if we do manage to top deck a gate, we can play it and pop it, which I don't think we're going to have enough creatures in the yard anyway, but that's a whole nother thing. I'm going to attack with these 2. Then we can sack them next turn. We probably want to block with this champion. Yep. That's just game. Good game. Well, that was super unfortunate, but that's the way it happens sometimes. So, I think what we want to bring in here are our negates. And that means we want to take out our fanatical firebrands, as they're not super great versus control decks. And I think that's about it. Alright, let's get a good opening 7. That is a lot better than the last one. We will keep it. We're also on the play, so that helps out. Hopefully opponent does not fire off a turn 1 or 2 duress here. Would love to get this gate to the afterlife into play. Probably go turn 2 cathartic reunion, just depending on what the opponent does here. Okay. Well, probably going to take the gate. Don't see them wanting to get rid of our Ballista or Champion of Wits. Oh, they took the Champion of Wits. Makes me think they have a Duress or another Divest in hand. Well, for now, we'll go ahead and Cathartic Reunion. We will discard the 2 creatures. Alright, that's not bad. Now we're kind of protected. Unless they have 2 discard spells this turn. Nope, Scrap Heap Scrounger. So for sure, we want to get a Gate to the Afterlife into play while we can. In fact, if they don't put us under a huge clock, we may just want to chain off the other 2 Gate to the Afterlives. That's interesting. So actually, I think what we're going to do here is Champion of Wits, looking for an untapped blue source to play so that we can also play Minister of Inquiries. Well, that's not exactly what that is. We'll discard God Pharaoh's Gift and one of these Gate to the Afterlives. Play, go away mountain. Play our mountain out there. Right, never, that's fine. That triggers our Gate to the Afterlife. We will indeed. Yes, go to the graveyard. That is exactly where we want you. How many creatures have we got in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, they duressed away our other gate. There, sorry. They did that while I was in the graveyard there looking at stuff. So we want to play out our Minister. And I actually think we're going to go ahead and play out this Combat Celebrant as well. Alright, we're getting tormented here, which is actually good for us here. It's going to allow us to combo. Resolve. We will sacrifice the Combat Celebrant, trigger the Gate, draw, then we're going to go ahead and mill ourselves, trying to hit more Combat Celebrants or Vizier. Go ahead and pop this Gate. Both of our gifts are in our graveyard, so we'll grab one of those, and this should just be the game. Go ahead and grab Combat Celebrant. And we will exert. I really like the update on exert to let you know that it actually is exerted here. Damage. Trigger our God Pharaoh's Gift again. Get our other Combat Celebrant. Go to attacks. Exert. Attack. Untap everything except the exerted Combat Celebrant. Get some damage in there. Grab our Vizier. Copy another Combat Celebrant. Go to attacks. Exert that one. Attack with everything else. And opponent sees the writing on the wall. Alright, I think we're just going to submit this again. Alrighty, again, this is a perfectly fine hand. Not perfect by any means, but fine, as I said. Yeah, duress. Bye-bye, gate. Well, we can go turn 1 Minister, which I think we're going to do. Go ahead and take a damage to do that. Unfortunately, we drew our one of Highland Lake, coming to bite us here. Really wish I had the 4th Spire Bluff Canal, but c'est la vie. Alright, bye-bye to you. Well, we got our negate. I think we're going to hold up that negate. Really, really wish you were a Spire Bluff Canal. Didn't get it. Well, didn't play anything we could negate. I think we're going to play this a little slow. We're going to go Highland Lake and still hold up negate here. We could have played one of these untapped sources, took a damage to play Champion of Wits if we wanted to. Yeah, let's negate that. That helps us out a whole lot in the longevity department. If we can stay alive long enough to get things going, then maybe we can pull something off here. So I think we're going to go Champion of Wits instead of Cathartic Reunion. Yes, please. Right, Spire Bluff Canal, we don't want you now. So let's pitch you. And we'll pitch a mountain. We might want another non-painful blue source at some point, so we'll play out our Ether Hub. Maybe we should have pitched that and kept the Spire Bluff Canal there, since we didn't really have anything to play for 1 mana anyway. Alright, Champion's down. We don't care about that too awfully much. Alright, Minister. I think we're going to Cathartic Reunion here. And let's use the Ether Hub for colorless, please. And then we'll pitch our 2 creatures. And opponent has had enough. I don't really understand what that concession was for, but sure. Maybe they just didn't want to play against our deck. Okay. Again, not perfect, but we'll definitely be keeping it. The question is, do we spend our energy on the first turn to start going aggro? I think we do. And we'll go Fanatical Firebrand. Actually, we'll go Minister of Inquiries. Since we already have our Gate to the Afterlife in hand, that way, next turn, we'll still have energy to be able to activate this. We can play our Firebrand if we want and start attacking with it, which that will use up all of our energy. I still think it's fine, though, so let's do that. Go ahead and make some red mana there. Go to combat. We'll attack with the Firebrand. And end the turn. Next turn we have mana that doesn't require energy to use. Looks like we're up against white-blue control. Let's go ahead and mill ourselves. Okay, hit a Combat Celebrant and a Gate. That's kind of unfortunate. Let's go to combat first here. Alright, they take it. We'll try to play out a Skirk Prospector. Alright, got that. And we'll end the turn. Unfortunately, we didn't hit a land drop. Though Prospector will allow us to try to jam Gate next turn if we want to. Or we could try to cast Champion of Wits. Either way, we're going to go to combat first. Alrighty. Well, let's try to cast this, I suppose. Sacrifice the Firebrand to keep our Prospector around. Alright, Syncopate. For 1? That's not the right move there. We can pay that. So, opponent miscalculated there. That's good for us. Right, we'll discard our other Celebrant. Actually, we're going to go ahead and discard the Ipnu Rivulet 2. We want the Walking Ballista to be able to play for 0 and trigger the gate. Also, we want the Trophy Mage in case we need to fetch up another gate. Alright, let's go for combat. May get Settle the Wreckage here, which actually is kind of okay because then we can cast other things and get a bunch of mana out of our deck. Let's please grab some mountains. So these decks do tend to play some number of cast outs. I think we're just going to jam the gate though and hope they don't have one. Play out our Canal. And we don't have the mana to go off, but I think we do want to play Ballista for 0 just to get the loot. Alright, we'll pitch the Trophy Mage then, since we drew another gate. That has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got enough to trigger our gate in the graveyard now, so that's good. If we draw another land, we can actually play our other gate and activate both of them next turn. Well, opponent apparently does not have an answer to the gate because they're playing Teferi.
Right on schedule. You need to take a time out.
This was a very good draw. Let's combo off, shall we? Grab our God Pharaoh's Gift. Go to combat. We've got 2 combat celebrants. So that will be 4, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. What is our opponent at? 14, so it's lethal. So we don't need to attack Teferi. Exert for face. Grab you. Exert to face. And grab the Ballista, I guess. And we got there. Alright, the same thing against this deck. We want our negates, and we don't want our firebrands, so let's do that and submit. Alrighty, I think this is a fine hand. Would love to have a Gate to the Afterlife in our opening hand, but this seems okay. Since we don't really have any 1-drops to play, we'll go ahead and lead on Sulphur Falls this time. Unfortunately, the kind of pause when you have Walking Ballista in hand lets your opponent know that you do have something to do. So here I think we're going to hold up Negate. We could have played the Sulphur Falls planning to play Trophy Mage next turn, but we don't want them to resolve something like Search for Azcanta. Yep, still not going to go ham here. We're just going to pass the turn, again holding up Negate. That may be a mistake on my part. We hit a land, so that's good for us. Let's go ahead and play out our Minister. And then we will just pass the turn. Still would like to draw one more land to where we can start playing our 3-drops and still hold up Negate. These control decks generally give you time to develop though, so that's good. Yeah, glad we did that. I would not like you to have a Teferi, please. Alright, so we can dig for a land. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll leave the Ether Hub up so that whatever land we get, as long as it's untapped, is fine. Alright, yep, certainly is. We'll discard the Celebrant and the Vizier. They are our combo pieces. We've got negate up. We'll go to attacks. Still need a gate to the afterlife, though. Though if we get really lucky, we may just be able to attack opponent to death without ever playing our combo. So at this point, I think we are going to let search resolve. I would rather negate something that is going to stop us from killing them and or comboing off. Let's go to attacks and attack with everything. All right, no settle the wreckage. That's good. So let's play out Trophy Mage. Oh, come on. Grab it, cursor. All right, letting us get our gate, so that's good. And we really have nothing else to do, so let's end the turn. We could play out Skirk Prospector. If it resolved, it would still allow us to hold up negate, but if they chose for whatever reason to counter it, then we wouldn't. Well, they milled a settle the wreckage there. That's intriguing to me. So if they've got two counters, then this gate is not going to resolve. I mean, that's pretty obvious probably. But I think we still go for it and hope they don't have two counters. Alright, we will certainly try to negate that. Let's not use both the Sulphur Falls, please. Negate your negate. Alrighty, gate resolves. That's good. Let's... Don't have the mana to pop it now, unfortunately. Let's go to combat. And we're going to attack with everything except for the Minister. Looks like we're getting settled. I think that's okay. That gives us some more mana. Go ahead and grab... Can I get them? For some reason, sometimes it doesn't want to take my clicks. Very disconcerting. We'll play out our Prospector. Hopefully they don't have a Cast Out in hand or a Forsake the Worldly, and we'll end our turn. So we've got two creatures in the yard. They milled a Field of Ruin. Nope, they had the Cast Out. Alrighty, maybe I should have went and looted with these ballistas, but I would rather try to go aggro with them, I think. So we're not going to mill ourselves now that our gate is gone. There's a Highland Lake. Let's go attacking. Opponent is down to 2 cards in hand. So they can syncopate for 2. So I think we're going to try to cast Ballista for 3. Which allows us to hold up mana to pay for syncopate if they have that. Then we'll play out our Highland Lake and end the turn. Seal away. Probably targeting Minister. Yep, if they had targeted Prospector, we could have sacked it to make sure it ended up in our graveyard. Right, milled another Field of Ruin. So they're 1 off flipping their search. Go to our turn. Ooh, another gate. Well, if we're going to try to combo, we want to do it before attacking. So let's do that. Nope, they have negate. Alrighty, fair enough. Go to combat again. Swing for 4. Got you to 10. We got 3 damage here. We could do 3 damage here. I think we're going to play this ballista for the full boat. Try to. It's not lethal if it resolves, but it is a lot of damage sitting on the board. And they can flip their search for Azcanta whether they mill anything or not here. They do have 7 in their graveyard already. Right, choose not to mill, and they flip. Activating Azcanta. Seal away, sure. That does cut down on damage. Especially if they do it right now while we can't put any more counters on. Yep, that is the correct move. Right, let's shoot you. Right, down to 7, so this is lethal if they have no other interaction. Even without us putting any more counters on. So let's go to combat. And we'll try to let them make the first move. And they could have a disallow. That makes me think that they do, since they're not conceding. Let's put a counter on here so that our ballista doesn't die. Just in case they do have a disallow. And final point. They do have the disallow. So we will kill them in response. Good game, opponent. Well played. Alrighty, again, I think this is a fine hand. We'll go ahead and keep it. It's a little slow. Wish we had some of our 1-drops. But not going to toss it back. We'll lead off on the mountain. Maybe our opponent will mistake us for red aggro. For whatever small bonus that can give to us. Alright, let's go ahead and play Cathartic Reunion. We're going to discard Vizier in this other mountain. Alright, got us a Champion of Wits. Unfortunately, did not get us a non-painful, reusable blue source. We do have Ether Hub, though. Alrighty. Probably going to lose the Trophy Mage here. No. They choose to take Champion of Wits, okay. Well then, let's play a land that they know about. We could kill this Llanowar Elves. I think we're going to do that. Go ahead and play this for 1. Shoot this elf. And that's it for us this turn. Could have also played the Trophy Mage, but them taking the Champion of Wits makes me think they have another discard spell in hand, perhaps. Oh, they're a ramp deck, are they? They didn't reveal the dinosaur. Ooh, we drew Gate to the Afterlife naturally. Well, we should probably get that into play. They could have a Thrashing Brontodon. And they are ostensibly dinosaurs. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and play this Gate. Then if it does get blown up, we do have the Trophy Mage to go get another one. Alright, they had nothing. That's good for us. Well, we're going to take some damage from our lands here. Let's play the Trophy Mage since they know about that. Not that they have any counter spells with the mana they're showing there. So I guess it really doesn't matter which order we played it in. Just old habits. Alright, and now we're kind of well set up here, hopefully. Well, they Fatal Push our Minister. At least we still get a loot from it. Thanks to the gate. We are going to pitch the Ether Hub here. I would like to have the Prospector for future loots. Could have played it out there too, but want to kind of protect it if we can. Do you have a Brontodon or other artifact removal? You have Vraska. That is artifact removal. How many creatures have we got? 1, 2, 3.
Fight them, you maggots!
So, oh, they didn't kill our gate to the afterlife. That seems strange to me. Well, since we drew this Champion of Wits, I guess we'll go with that. Yes, please. All right, we'll discard you. I think we'll also discard this Cathartic Reunion. So we are at 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, I need to go to full control mode. Just in case the game wants to go to my combat phase because it thinks I can't do anything. Then we will sacrifice for mana. Please. And there's our 6th creature. We'll pop our gate. Go into the library, get a God Pharaoh's Gift. Grab Combat Celebrant. And we need to get this Vraska off the board, so we're going to exert attacking Vraska. Because I don't think we have enough to be lethal here. Even if we can't kill her, if we can get her down below 3 loyalty so she can't downtick on our God Pharaoh's Gift, that would be great. Copy this. Let's just kill her. Just get her off the board. And that's enough for the opponent to scoop it up. So I'm not really sure how to sideboard here. Not real certain what the opponent's got going on. They appeared to be black-green ramp. They had Llanowar Elf. They had Vraska and some ramp spells is all we saw, really. So since I'm not really sure what to do, I'm just not going to do anything. We're just going to run it back as it is. Maybe we'll get some more information this game if we lose and be able to make better decisions about sideboarding. All right, opponent mulliganing there. We are going to keep this hand, I think. We've got Trophy Mage to go get our gate. We've got Minister to start milling ourselves. It's a shame that Ether Hub is what's going to cast it, but it does produce energy of its own, so I think that's okay. Well, goodbye to God Pharaoh's Gift. That's perfectly fine. Doesn't really matter where the gift is as long as it's not exiled. Go ahead and play out a Minister. See what else opponent's got going on. Nothing this turn. So let's play a Prospector. Play our other Minister. And then we're just going to pass the turn. Right, I do expect them to have some artifact removal this game. Let's go ahead and mill ourselves. see, we milled a gate and a champion. Let's go for Trophy Mage here. If they have another discard spell in hand, we may be really sad. But perhaps if that is their game plan, we can just out-aggro them. And I'm not going to mill, I'm just going to go attacking this time. And in the turn, we could sack our Prospector to play Firebrand. I don't want to do that. I also don't want to spend this last energy because we may need this blue source. Yep, they do have a discard spell. Getting Doomfalled, bye-bye to Gate. Right, Combat Celebrant. Again, I think we're just going to go the aggro route. Let's attack. Play out this Combat Celebrant. And end the turn. And if they don't have some answers, they are just going to die. And it's not going to take a God Pharaoh's Gift to get that done. Alright, Contempting our Celebrant, so they're going to gain some life there. Another Minister. Well, let's play our Firebrand. And again, just keep on swinging. Got them down to 8. We'll play out our Minister, which will also replenish our energy just a little bit. So we're presenting lethal on board if they don't have a kill spell or a blocker here. Well, that is something that can block. Brontodon, so they do have Brontodon, at least post-board. They went ahead and milled it away. So we could Vizier of Many Faces, copy that, get an Explore. We could copy our Firebrand so that it could attack. They're going to have to block our Trophy Mage if we copy the Firebrand. Let's copy the Firebrand. They absolutely have to block the Trophy Mage unless they have other removal. And then they're going to need some life gain because we'll untap with Firebrands that can just shoot their face. Alright, they did not have removal. And that's the game. Alright, a perfectly reasonable hand again. Let's keep it. Won't be able to go turn 1 Minister, but I think that's fine. Opponent showing blue. Let's go for Mountain. Alright, double Island. Oh, I'm silly. I could have played a turn 1 Minister. I thought that was Sulphur Falls for whatever reason. Well, that is my bad. Let's go for Cathartic Reunion then. We'll pitch a Champion of Wits. Go ahead and pitch this God Pharaoh's Gift as well. There we go. Now we can hit our land drop next turn and try to cast the other Champion of Wits. Drew the other God Pharaoh's Gift. We don't want to discard that. Against these more controlling decks, we often have to try to hard cast a God Pharaoh's Gift in the late game. Yes, please. Alright, we'll discard Combat Celebrant and Highland Lake. Actually, probably should have discarded the Combat Celebrant to the first Cathartic Reunion. Alright, that is unfortunate. Opponent knows that we don't run any basic islands. So discarding Highland Lake there has got us in a horrible situation. Alright, cycling Cast Out. Either that or opponent was just fixing their mana and they got lucky in that we don't have any basic islands in the deck. Well, let's go for Cathartic Reunion first off. We'll discard these ministers that we can't cast. Alright, there's a blue source. That's good. Let's go for Firebrand. And we'll go to attacks. Get in there for 3. Also, opponent missed a land drop there, I just realized. Going to seal away our champion. Sure. We'll play that. Maybe should have played the mountain there and played our prospector out. Alright, they are still missing land drops. Interesting. Let's play a prospector pre-combat. Right, they choose not to counter that, either that or they don't have any counter spells. We'll go attacking. The reason I played the prospector is so we could sack the Firebrand in response to a seal away, and then we're going to try to Trophy Mage. Right, they have an Essence Scatter. Alright, we'll pass back. They finally hit their 4th land, though it is a tapped land. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the yard already. So if we drew Gate to the Afterlife, we would be able to pop it. That is, if it resolved. Let's go ahead and attack here. Maybe I should have just gone for it. Went for the Trophy Mage. Get the gate. Sack these to pop the gate. Yeah, that was probably a mistake. But let's try now, I suppose. Right, they let us resolve that. Please. We're not going to try to play the gate here. We are going to go with Walking Ballista for 1. Then next turn, we'll attack first, and if they want to settle the wreckage, then that will take up their mana, and we can gate afterwards. I might just be playing too conservatively here. Well, I can pay for that, so I probably should. Leaves the same amount of power on board, but with some additional utility. Also doesn't let the Walking Ballista get exiled, so that's good, Teferi. So the question is opponent running main deck negates, or can they hit a land drop to be able to hold up disallow mana? Well, it looks like they are not hitting a land drop. Go to my turn. Well, I think we just jam it. They do have main deck negate. Interesting. Alrighty then. Let's attack Teferi then. And we'll go ahead and kill Teferi.
We will meet again.
Hopefully they are not holding another one. Well, they have now hit their 6th mana, So the mana issues are over with. So I can sack Prospector to Eternalize Champion of Wits here, which they would need a disallow to stop. So let's do that. Pay all the blue mana, spending the last of our energy. Yes, please. Alrighty, well, we will discard a Ballista and a Prospector and keep another one of each in hand. And we'll attack with our Trophy Mage. And end the turn. Alright, opponent's blinking our token and drawing a card because it was kicked. So do we just start jamming? I think we probably do. They have 4 cards. Let's go Sulphur Falls. I think we're going to cast the God Pharaoh's Gift first. Gearhulk is the worst possible thing they could have been holding there. Yep. Hopefully that means they don't have another counter actually in their hand, but there's no guarantee of that because just getting a 5/6 out and keeping a counter in your hand is a very good play. Right, City's Blessing. I think we're about to get buried.
I know my response. Hold that thought.
Yep, choose not to attack. There is a Combat Celebrant. Let's just jam, I suppose. It's about the only thing we've got left to do. Oh, and we resolve it. That is awesome. Let's activate it. They may have a disallow, though. Looks like they don't. Both of our gifts are in the graveyard. They might have a cast out. We're still going to go for broke here. Drew another Combat Celebrant. Just go ahead and play that. Go to combat. Oh, we got our trigger. We may be doing it. Exert. I think we just attack them. Right, bye-bye to Combat Celebrant. We've got another one. And now we're going to go Trophy Mage here and exert the Celebrant at Teferi. We need to get him down under 3 so he can't tuck our God Pharaoh's Gift. Right, Torrential's going away. And maybe should have attacked Teferi with both of those, but it would have been blocked either way. Then we're going to grab Trophy Mage to go for another gate. And we're going to attack Teferi with both of these.
Only time.
All right, Teferi's down. And end the turn. Fumigate, sure. I don't really care about Fumigate too much. Search for Azcanta, so you're saying you don't really have an answer. Gonna play this. Gonna play this for 1. Gonna shoot our combat celebrant. And we will loot. Discard the hub. Yes, please. Discard the canal. Go for the celebrant. We'll exert. Down to 8, and opponent has had enough. Alright, same as always versus these control decks. Tempting to bring in Essence Scatter for the Gearhulks, but I don't think that we need to do that. Just take out the Firebrands, bring in our negates, and submit. Alright, unfortunately, this is a bad hand. However, I think I'm going to keep it. We're on the draw. This does come into play tapped, but we can play 3 of our things. This is probably bad, but I'm going to keep it. Opponent mulligan to 6 there. Very good possibility we just brick off and die here. Yep, God Pharaoh's Gift's not what we wanted to draw. Really wish you were a Spire Bluff Canal. Alright, well, let's go for Prospector, since that can serve as a sort of pseudo-land for 1 turn. Alright, they're stuck on 2. Let's try for Minister. Right, got scattered. Let's attack with our Prospector then. If they want to seal it away, I guess we're sad. Alright, they hit their 3rd land. Sulphur Falls comes into play tapped, unfortunately. We'll try for our other Minister. That one resolves. So let's attack before we play our land out. Cycling Cast Out. Seems strange to me. I think in their position I would only cycle Cast Out if I needed to hit a land drop or if I had multiple cast outs, because that's a great answer to God Pharaoh's Gift. We'll go attacking. Just going to attack with the Prospector. Then we'll play... I think we're going to go for a 1-point Ballista. You may not pull from tomorrow, I don't think. It's for 2, though? No, you can have it. That's fine. If it was a bigger pull, I probably would have countered it, but I want to use Negate to resolve our Gate to the Afterlife if we can. Alright. Hit their 5th mana. Let's mill ourselves. Go to our turn. Got 2 creatures in the graveyard. So with this, we can gate plus negate. So we want to do that before attacks. So let's tap you. Try to do that. Right, that resolves. So 2, 3, 4. I mean, there's some chance that we could hit here. Let's mill ourselves. Seal away. That's fine. You can seal away my minister. So we don't have to worry about a disallow. We hit a celebrant. So now we can go off. No problemo. Yes, please. Discard you. Yes, please. Discard you. Pop ya. And grab the one that's in our library so we don't draw it. And let's chain some combat celebrants, and opponent is having none of it. Well, 4 matches is generally all I can fit into my recording schedule, but these have gone exceptionally fast, so I think we're going to keep going. We may even be able to pull off a 5-0 here. Fingers crossed. Sad that we've got God Pharaoh's Gift in hand, but I think this is worth keeping. We've got turn 2 Ballista into turn 3 Champion. Just depending on what the opponent's got going on. Desert of the Mindful. This may be a cycling deck here. Well, we'll lead off with our Canal and end the turn. Alright, mono blue showing for the moment. I think we'll go for the Ballista. Alright, Essence Scatter. We'll end the turn. See what else they may have going on. Well, they're stuck on 2 lands. So that's good for us. Let's go for Champion of Wits. That one resolves. We will indeed take action here. I think we're not going to discard our God Pharaoh's Gift. We'll discard Vizier and one of these ministers. And then end the turn. Well, if our opponent stays stuck on 2 mana forever, we may just be able to hardcast this God Pharaoh's Gift. Let's go attacking. So I think we're going to go for Minister plus a Ballista on 1. And we'll tap this for colorless just to bluff that we've got a 1-mana red spell. Not that I think a deck showing this mana and playing Essence Scatter would care about Magma Spray or Shock. Blink of an eye, sure. We'll cast that again for more mana next turn, or try to. They didn't have the mana to kick it, so that's not helping them to draw into lands. And unfortunately for them, they have not hit a 3rd land. So again, let's go attacking. And this turn, actually, I think I'm going to Embalm Vizier. Let's go for blue. We'll copy our Champion of Wits. Looks like it may be getting blinked too. Yep, looks like that's the case. We still get to do our draw and discard though. Alright, gate is what we wanted to see. Let's discard Gift and Ether Hub. And end the turn. Let's see, we've got 2 creatures in the yard. 3, 4. Gives us 2 loots as well. Combat Celebrant. That seems good. I think we're going to combo off this turn. Unfortunately, our opponent didn't really get to play Magic this game. Spell Pierce? Sure. We'll pay 2. That stops us from actually comboing this turn, so that's good for them. Let's go ahead and do our looting, though. Discard a Celebrant. We'll go to combat. We'll attack with Champion. And end the turn. Which we may not have had the mana to combo off anyway, since we probably would have needed to play Champion of Wits. That's fine. So they are blue-white. Good to know. Let's go ahead and mill ourselves. Right, we don't have enough in there yet. Let's go full control mode just in case. Yes. Resolve. Discard Celebrant and Highland Lake. Mill ourselves. We can play Sulphur Falls. This is already active, so let's do it. We don't have the cards to discard to Cathartic Reunion, or I would have done that too. Just to try to put more in the graveyard. And I think this is lethal. We got 2 combat celebrants. It should be... Oop, nope. Yeah, very happy about that visualization to let you know that you actually exerted it. Exert. Attack. And sure, grab a Firebrand. And attack with all. Alright, so I think we saw enough of our opponent's deck to know that they're blue-white control. I mean, they may even have a third color, we're not for sure, but as always, Firebrand's out and negates in, and we submit. Alright, I think we keep this. Got 2 Spire Bluff Canals, no Highland Lakes this time. Seems good to me. As always, we are digging for a gate to the afterlife at this point, since we don't have one in hand. We're fetching an island there. Well, we're going to go ahead and resolve our Minister of Inquiries. Not going to be milling until we have a gate in hand, as we do not want to mill our gates. Let's go ahead and attack. See if they want to seal it away. They seem not to. We'll try to resolve a second one. Nope. Essence Scatter says go away. Right, opponent is not having trouble hitting their land drops this time, but they don't have double blue for disallow yet. There's a gate. That seems quite good to me. Let's go ahead and attack. Actually, probably shouldn't attack. No, let's attack. They want to spend their mana on Seal Away instead of countering our Champion of Wits. I think that's perfectly fine. Then we'll try for a Champion. Right, that resolves. That's a little surprising to me. Okay, well, we'll discard the Canal and Combat Celebrant. We want to hold Gate to the Afterlife until we can play it and pop it in the same turn. Right, now they got double blue. Let's go attacking. I think we're going to hold Minister of Inquiries back now to mill ourselves. Alrighty, well, we got a Sulphur Falls. Going to try to resolve another Champion of Wits. Alright, that resolves. Good for us. discard Vizier and Highland Lake. And in the turn, we have 3 creatures in the yard. Think we're going to see... Oh, no, a cast out. Really? Guess we're putting enough pressure on that they're willing to use a cast out. Sure. You have a seal away also? Is that the reason you're not taking the tapped champion? You have a Teferi, okay.
I can no longer stand by and watch.
Right, drawing a card there.
To move quickly.
Let's hope to hit a bunch of creatures with this minister. We hit 1. Just 1. So we have 4 in the yard. We need 2 more. There's a seal away, so opponent's tapped out. Now is the time to go for this if we can get the creatures in the yard. We did not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is super unfortunate. So we cannot afford to play Gate to the Afterlife because they will just tuck it with Teferi or cast it out or something. So we will pass the turn. We really needed to hit another creature there, and then I think we would have won this game.
Let's skip to the good part.
Right, drawing with Teferi. There's a seal away, so bye-bye to Minister. That's fine. His job has been done. We have no more energy left. They have all their lands untapped now, unfortunately. And we are drawing all our lands. Well, pass it back. Think this game may be getting out of control for us. Next turn we can Eternalize Champion of Wits, so that might get us back in it. But they are drawing 3 cards a turn now between Teferi, their draw step, and Arch of Orazka.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
And generally, the person drawing 3 cards a turn is the one that wins. Alrighty. There's a Trophy Mage. Let's Eternalize Champion of Wits, please. Disallow can stop this. And they have it. Yep, I really am thinking that we missed our window, and in 2 turns they can also ultimate Teferi, and at that point it's just over.
Keep up the pace.
So how do we win from here? Draw Ipnu Rivulet into them having no counters. Is about all I can think of. That's not what that is. I guess we try? There's nothing else to do. Because they're going to ultimate Teferi next turn and start exiling our lands. And they have a Gearhulk, so we're going to scoop it up. Good game. So close and yet so far away. Yeah, we're not going to keep this. This is a bit better. Yeah, let's snap this off. Ether Hub, nope. Bottom U. Opponent mulliganed also. So the question is, do we resolve Minister? I think we do. Could have also played out Highland Lake the first turn. Right, Island and pass from the opponent. Minister or Vizier, that's pretty good. I think we're going to try Cathartic Reunion here. Hopefully they don't have Spell Pierce. Discard Vizier in the Highland Lake. Right, they did not. Another Reunion, huh? Let's get some damage in then. Alright, there's a gate. Let's go for Reunion again. Discard Rivulet and Ether Hub. Think we're going to get countered here. Yep, Syncopate. And we'll play our Rivulet. And I think we're just going to pass. There's some world where our opponent taps out and lets us resolve Gate to the Afterlife, I think. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Let's go ahead and mill ourselves. See, hit Ballista and Trophy Mage, so we now have 3 creatures in the yard. Can't cast the Cathartic Reunion. Let's pass the turn. Right, Evolving Wilds. Looks like that's it for the opponent. Could you not resolve a Search for Azcana, opponent? Let me do my thing too? I suppose not. Go ahead and mill ourselves. We hit a Champion of Wits. So 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures. There's a negate. We don't have the mana to gate plus negate. We could Cathartic Reunion, but that would mean discarding Gate. That seems bad. Start attacking again, I suppose. Really sad that we had to discard our lands to do Cathartic Reunion, as now we really want them. Right, cycling a desert. I think that means our opponent has some lands in hand. Or not. You cycle a desert and miss your land drop. That seems questionable to me. There's a canal. Not going to Cathartic. Going to just play the canal and attack. So again, we're in a bad position here. It's going to be hard for us to resolve this Gate to the Afterlife and be able to pop it. If we can resolve it and counter their counter with a negate, yeah, that's fine. Then that leaves us open on their following turn to a cast out. Which they're actually better off if they can casting out our God Pharaoh's Gift, but that also lets us untap so that we could counter their cast out, so lots of back and forth and interplay here in this matchup. Alright, discarding an Essence Scatter, so we could Cathartic Reunion and discard Negate and Cathartic Reunion. They are not hitting their land drops, even with the Hieroglyphic Illuminations. Let's go ahead and attack. And I think we're best off just biding our time for now. Alright, opponent's missing another land drop. Much more detrimental for them than it is for us, that's for sure. Discards and Invoke the Divine. Makes me wonder what they've got in their hand, that they're willing to get rid of that. And I know I didn't leave that up for very long. There it is if you're unfamiliar with that card. Alright, let's play a 1-point Ballista. Alright, you got it. Could have also Cathartic Reunioned, pitching the Ballista and a Reunion, I guess. These Cathartic Reunions are just sitting in our hand, not doing very much at the moment. Alright, opponent continues to miss land drops. We are going to hit ours, though, so that's good. So let's play you out. We could also go and mill ourselves again, but I think we'd rather just attack for now. We have done 5 damage with this little Minister of Inquiries. Now 6. There's a cast out of their hand. Sure, you can have my Minister. It's 1 less card for you to be able to deal with my artifacts. There's a Teferi. I think we're obligated to negate that. So we could mill ourselves. See, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we mill ourselves and then top deck an untapped land, we can gate and pop it. Yeah, we're going to do it. Tap you for blue. Sacrifice a rivulet. Right, well, there's 6 cards. Unfortunately, did not hit an untapped land. I think we're still going to go for gate, though. If they have a way to deal with that, at least we've got Trophy Mage to get a backup. Right, they got something going on here. Looks like an Invoke the Divine. That is what it is, so they're going to destroy that and gain some life. Ballista. Let's go for Trophy Mage. Alright, resolves. Go ahead and grab another gate. And pass. Alright, they got 5 cards in hand and 6 mana up. So 1 disallow or 2 negates, or, negate syncopate. Sort of that kind of deal. We're not going to try to go for it this turn, so let's attack. Then we're going to try to Cathartic Reunion. We'll pitch Ballista and the other Reunion. Alright, there's a negate. And we're going to hold this mountain as a bluff. They know that we have the gate in hand because we fetched it. We can disguise the fact that we can play and pop this in the same turn. Alright, Sulphur Falls. Let's go to attacks. Just beaten down with the 2/2 Trophy Mage. Play out Sulphur Falls and pass. Alright, nothing on our end step from the opponent. They are having no trouble hitting their land drops this game. There's a God Pharaoh's Gift, so we're actually just 1 mana off hard casting that. I think what we're going to do here is Vizier and copy Trophy Mage. Or attempt to. Alright, Gear Hulk. Again, very bad for us. That gives them a clock. Do you have a disallow? You do not. Guess you're going to have to Illuminations and draw some cards? Yep. So we get to resolve our Vizier. That's good for us. I could copy the Gear Hulk as well, but I would rather go ahead and get a second gate. Go ahead and play out our mountain. And no attacks. Alright, they're attacking us. I guess we block. With the non-token. Alright, Skirk Prospector. So, 2 counterspells puts the kibosh on us here. They've got Negate, Syncopate in the Yard. I mean, I guess we try this? There's a Syncopate for 4. We can't pay that, so, yep. Try the second one. That resolves. Doesn't mean they don't have an answer, though. How many Invoke the Divines are you running? Jeez Louise. This person really doesn't want to lose to God Pharaoh's Gift or Red-Black Aggro. Alright. 3. Holy moly. Well, there's an approach. So we need an untapped land. Do we even have a combat celebrant in our graveyard? We do not, unfortunately. Still, it's about our only hope. If they've got another approach in hand, then it's over. Alright, well, do we get Trophy Mage or Champion of Wits? I think we get Champion of Wits. Yes, please. Well, there's our celebrants. Let's attack. And pass. Hopefully they have not an answer for this God Pharaoh's Gift. If they do, we're going to be sad that we went for the Champion of Wits instead of the Trophy Mage. Alright, well, they're digging for something. Alright, opponent's passing the turn. Let's go to combat. Grab one of these celebrants. Go to attacks. We'll attack with all and exert. Right. Wondering if opponent has a Settle the Wreckage that they're planning to use at the last possible moment here. Right, not blocking. Alright, that means I can't copy it. See, actually ought to have gone, which it didn't give me the opportunity, ought to have popped this Hypno Rivulet before this trigger resolved. Right, let's go attacking again. I'll attack. We'll exert you. There's the settle. So let's let that resolve. Yes, please. It's the last of our basics. Full control. I want to mill myself, please. Submit. Sacrifice that. Right. Well, there's a Vizier. Did we get another Celebrant? We did not. So, let's grab Trophy Mage. Yes, please. Get our last gate. Go attacking. Alrighty. Well, We'll play out our Prospector, play out our Gate, and hope they don't have another approach. Because the one we know about is 4 cards down. There's a Glimmer, so they can draw it, and they have just enough to cast it. Alrighty, let's see that they actually do draw it before we concede. They do. Good game, opponent. Well played. Well, we'll let them resolve it, that's fine. Oh, that was very close. Alrighty, so we did not get the elusive 5-0, but that's fine, we had a lot of fun anyway. Here again is the deck list. There is also a link in the description if you'd rather check it out on MTG Goldfish. It's also in a form that you can export it and import it into your Arena client if that's something that you would like to do. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comments and by leaving a like below. It really does help tremendously. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.